Hello everyone, this is Dr. Madhulika Gupta. I am Associate Professor at Dr. D.Y. Patil Center for Management Research, Chikhli, Pune. And I'll be taking your subject business economics, that is microeconomics in your first semester, right? So let me introduce you all to the syllabus first. I'll share my screen and share a syllabus with you all. So this is your syllabus for business economics, and it is microeconomics. I hope in 11th and 12th you have studied about micro and macro differentiation. So in this semester you will study about microeconomics, right? So the syllabus includes the very first unit includes the introduction to the basic concepts of this microeconomics, that is meaning, scope of business economics. Now business economics is also synonym to managerial economics. Sometimes it is also used synonymally, and you'll be studying concept of micro and macroeconomics, tools of economic analysis, basic concepts, goals of firms, etc. Then the second unit covers your utility. Okay, so one second. Yes, so it studies consumer behavior. You study utility, the marginal utility, law of equimarginal utility, consumer surplus. You'll understand approaches like cardinal approach and ordinal approach, the difference between them, right? In the third unit, you study about demand and supply analysis. Somewhere or the other, there would be some concepts that would repeat itself because you have studied economics as well in 11th and 12th, commerce. So you'll understand, but there would be few students who are coming from science stream, right? 11th, 12th have done science. So I'll keep that in mind, and I'll teach, keeping in mind that there are some students who have never studied economics. So no worries about that. So I'll be clearing all your concepts. So the third unit has demand and supply analysis, everything about demand, like law of demand, elasticity of demand, types of elasticity of demand, supply, equilibrium between demand and supply, etc. In the last unit is your fourth unit, that is your study production analysis. Here you will study law of variable proportions, law of returns to scale, and economies and diseconomies of internal and external economies of scale. Why does an economies of scale occur? Why diseconomies of scale occur? A lot of concepts is very interesting. So you should be looking at all of my videos, watching all the videos, so understand the concept, right? So let's start with the first unit, and I'll be sharing with you all the presentation so that it helps you to understand the concept more clearly. Yes, so welcome to the online lectures of SM Dr. D.Y. Patil, BBA CA and Arts, Commerce and Science College, Shahunagar, Pune. So as I told you, your first unit, let's study the part 1, that is business economics. Now, to understand the concept of business economics is also called managerial economics, is the application of economic theory and methodology to business, right? So business economics is a science dealing with application of economic theory to business management. So it involves decision making, right? So decision making means the process of selecting one out of two or more alternative courses of action. As you've studied in economics always, that it is about selecting between different courses of action, right? And decision making means the process of selecting one out of two or more alternative courses of action. The question of choice arises because the basic resources as capital, land, labor, and management are limited and can have alternative uses, right? So the decision making function thus becomes one of making choice and taking decisions that will provide the most efficient means of attaining a desired end, say profit maximization. So business economics can be viewed to lie between economics on the one hand and business management on the other hand. So it provides an insight into the application of economics to solve the problems of the business, right? Let's understand the chief characteristics of business economics and nature. So business economics is a microeconomic, as I told you, and in character, and it concentrates only on the study of the firm and not on the working of the economy on a whole. So it takes the help of macroeconomics, of course, to understand and adjust to the environment in which firm operates. But business economics is normative rather than positive in character. It is both conceptual, that is theoretical, and metrical, that is quantitative techniques. Because in demand analysis, like demand analysis, elasticity, price elasticity of demand, there are formulas given. You can calculate it. And the contents of business economics are based mainly on the theory of firm, right? So traditional economic theory has developed along two lines, that is normative and positive. So normative focuses on prescriptive statements and have established rules aimed at attaining the specified goals of business. Positive, on the other hand, focuses on description. It aims at describing the manner in which economic system operates without staffing how they should operate. So the emphasis in business economics is more on normative theory, right? Because economics seeks to establish rules which help business firms attain their goals, which indeed is also the essence of the word normative. Like, however, if the firm are to establish valid decision rules, they must thoroughly understand their environment. This requires the study of positive or descriptive theory, right? So the business economics combines the essentials of the normative and positive economic theory, the emphasis being more on the former than the latter, right? Yeah. Now let's understand the scope of business economics. The very first is organization of business, like the various forms of business organization as well as business goals or objectives of a firm are part of the scope of managerial economics, that is business economics. For example, the current policies of Tesco would be different. It's prescribed by the late Sri Jamshedji Tata, right? So it keeps on changing the organization structure, the structure of the business, how it operates. Then demand analysis and forecasting. So it analyzes carefully and systematically the various types of demand which enable the manager to arrive at a reasonable estimate of demand for a product or company, right? Like he takes into account such concepts as price elasticity, income elasticity, cross elasticity. We'll be learning these concepts in our future slides. The next scope is production function. The factors of production, otherwise called inputs, land, labor, you know that capital, may be combined in a particular way to yield the maximum output. That is the least cost combination, right? So in this way, the production function is pressed into service by managerial economics, right? The next is cost analysis. Cost analysis is yet another function of managerial economics. Now, for instance, the determinants of cost, the methods of estimating cost, the relationship between cost and output, and forecast of cost and profit. These are very vital for a firm. Next is inventory management. Now the problem is how much of the inventory is idle stock. It is if it is high, the capital is unproductively tied up, right? Which might, if the stock of inventory is reduced, be used for other productive purposes. So on the other hand, if the level of inventory is low, the production will be hampered. Therefore, managerial economics uses different methods with a view to minimize the inventory cost and have the best combination. The next is advertising. To produce a commodity is one thing and to market is another, of course, and therefore advertising forms an integral part of decision making and forward planning. The next is price system. Now, pricing is an important area of business economics. In fact, price is the genesis of a firm's revenue, and as such, its success largely depends on how correctly the pricing decisions are taken. Right? The more important aspect dealt with under pricing includes price determination under various competitions, various markets, like uh, in under perfect competition, under monopolistic competition, under monopoly, under oligopolistic market, pricing methods, differential pricing, product line, price forecasting, right? So next is profit management. Business firms are generally organized like for the purpose of making profits, and in long run, profits earned are taken as an important measure of the firm's success that defines the firm's success, right? So the knowledge about the future perfect profit analysis would have been a very easy task. However, like in the world of uncertainty, expectations are not always realized, so that profit planning and measurement constitute a difficult area of business economics. So the important aspects covered under this area are nature and measurement of profit, profit policies, techniques of profit planning like break-even analysis, etc., etc. So this was the scope of business economics. Now let's move ahead for the significance of business economics. Now, business economics is concerned with those aspects of traditional economics which are relevant for business decisions making in real life. Now, these are adapted or modified with a view to enable the manager take better decisions. So thus, business economics accomplishes the objective of building a suitable tool kit from traditional economics, right? Next significance is it also incorporates useful ideas from other disciplines such as psychology, sociology, etc. If they are found relevant to decision making, of course. In fact, business economics takes the help of other disciplines having a bearing on the business decisions in relation various explicit and implicit constraints, subject of which resource allocation is to be optimized, right? The third significance is business economics helps in reaching a variety of business decisions in a complicated environment. Like certain examples are what products are services, what products and services should be produced, what input and production techniques should be used, or how much output should be produced, and at what price it should be sold, like pricing aspect. What are the best sizes and locations of new plants, or when should equipment be replaced, or how should the available capital be allocated. There are various decisions that business have to take. So business economics helps in that area. So it makes managers a more competent model builder. Now it helps the manager appreciate the essential relationship between characterizing a given situation, so they can build a better model. And also it is very important at the level of the firm. So where its operations are conducted through known focused functional areas such as finance, marketing, personnel, and production, business economics serves as an integrating agent by coordinating the activities in different areas, right? So business economics takes cognizance of the interaction between the firm and society and accomplishes the key role of an agent in achieving the social economic welfare goals. That is, it has come to be realized that a business, apart from its obligations to shareholders, has certain social obligations as well. Now, business economics focuses attention on these social obligations as constraints, subject to which business decisions are taken. So it serves as an instrument in furthering the economic welfare of the society through socially oriented business decisions, right? Now, the usefulness of business economics lies in borrowing and adopting the toolkit from economic theory and incorporating relevant ideas from other disciplines to take better business decisions, serving as a catalyst, agent in the process of decision making by different functional departments at the firm's level, and finally accomplishing a social purpose by orienting business decisions towards social obligations. So this all forms the significance of business economics. Now, let's understand the relationship of business economics with micro and macroeconomics one by one. Now, the very first relation of business economics with microeconomics is demand analysis. Like as provided by macroeconomics, constitute the foremost area of study of managerial economics. Theory of a firm is perhaps the core part of managerial economics, and the entire theory is drawn from microeconomics. So it's very important. Like production function is the first part of the theory, which deals with the production function, the choice of technique, and other economic decisions related to production. So the law of periodic proportions or study here returns to scale, cost distinction, including fixed and variable cost, short and long run cost. All these important concepts are studied in the theory of the firm. The next is cost analysis. Which is, it is very vital part of managerial economics, relies heavily on microeconomics for conceptual quality. The concept of opportunity cost, for example, provides the basis for distinguishing economic cost from the cost as recorded in the books of accounts. The decision making regarding optimum output can be taken on basis of the cost output relationship, the law of returns as operating at the level of the firm, and profit maximization. All these concepts and the analysis are provided in the macroeconomics, in the microeconomics theory. So it's very important. The next is study of price in and output determination. Now, the market that governs the fate of the firm's performance is classified into various types like monopoly, oligopoly, perfect competition, monopolistic competition, etc. So all these techniques and strategies discussed in managerial economics have to use theoretical models in microeconomics. So this is why an in-depth study of price and output determination in the short and long run under various market conditions has to be undertaken in business economics, right? As a very important part of it. Now let's understand the relationship between business economics and macroeconomics. Now, the very first one is study of money and banking. This study helps the management executive in resolving various problems related to liquidity, interest rate, right? Structures, public laws and practices, acceptance of public deposits, borrowing from financial institutions, and the entire approach of business finance. In fact, all the accounts and future plans are expressed in terms of money value. Therefore, a study of money as undertaken by macroeconomics becomes indispensable part of managerial economics. The next is theory of firm, theory of international trade, sorry, which is a part of the macroeconomics, has become more relevant with the globalization. So terms of trade, balance of trade, theory regarding the rate of exchange, and such other parts of international economics have become more relevant to managerial economics. The next one is welfare responsibilities. Like if the modern state has to shoulder various welfare responsibilities and has to regulate and control business activities for safeguarding the interest of the consumers, right? So laborers as well as the environment, the stakeholders, in short. So anti-monopoly legislation, foreign exchange regulation, etc., like pollution control rules or wildlife conservation laws are the examples of this type of governmental responsibilities and interference, right? And all these areas of study are from macroeconomics and form the part of business economics, right? So this is what we'll do it today, and we'll cover the next topic in the next class, right? So I hope you all have understood the concept, what I have told you. You just watch the video carefully, and if you have any doubts, you can put up in the message, and I will clear the doubts. Otherwise, we can have one session solely to clear your doubts, and we can do it that way. Thank you so much.